See how he does drafting this lineup for him and his team. Him, Ritsu, Juve, B, Boris. They've got Sand King thus far up against Clockwork and Crystal Maiden. Ban out Bristleback and Sark. The ban of Earthshaker and Treant Protector. And they take the Ogre Magi. No Koos is here, though. Maybe B is Koos. But guess we'll find out who the new Koos is. So, got Ogre Magi and Sand King. Nick's banned out by F and F. Take a look. Clockwork and Crystal Maiden. You've got your position 5 supporting Crystal Maiden. Your offlaner most likely that Clockwork, although you could go position 4 with the Clockwork. And then for the side of the PPD squad, you've got Ogre Magi and Sand King, 2 of which they could both go as supports as well in those 4 or 5 positions. Now, if you're just Koos, you just kill it as the Ogre Magi, win your team the game, and let your team do as much as they can.
Radiant team ban.
They ban out the Quap. Now F and F. They're going to be looking at what they want to ban out up against this PPD squad. So Borster, F and F.
Remaining. 5 seconds remaining.
Let's see what they want to do.
Reserve time.
And you take a look at these lineups and what they can do. We could see, you know, Clockwork or Sand King go in that 4 position. You know, maybe pick up a Darkseer to be in that off lane instead. We did see, though, a Sand King in that finals between the Loda Cool Bean squad and Planet Dog, where Sand King just, he got that blink way too late, and there was nothing they could do in terms of initiation. Of course, here, they've got the Ogre Magi with the slow, with the stun, and Bloodlust is going to be nice on a couple of these heroes for Borster. Maybe see a Juggernaut come out with them, and, you know, you really use that Bloodlust to everything it can be.
5 seconds remaining.
So, Rena gets banned out. So, banning out a couple of mids, couple of safe laners for Borster. And F, let's see what they pick up next. Well, we'll see with the next pick or two, obviously, where Clockwork is going to be positioned. Remaining. And you've got this Clockwork that can do a 4 or a 5. So, let's see
5 seconds remaining.
Really what they want to do with this draft right now. From what I've seen, Ogre Magi has an 80% win rate, so I kind of like it. And Lifestealer. So Lifestealer picked up for F and F. Lifestealer, Crystal Maiden, Clockwork, and I kind of like this. You know, you've got your Clockwork who could be in that off lane and, you know, be that Uber driver for Lifestealer. You go in with the hook, you get the Infest pop, and go in on these heroes. Or even then, you can get that Clockwork, stay in the off lane. Slardar picked up as your 4 position, and use both of them as your driver for the Lifestealers. So definitely Borster has to be aware of that possible combination. You know, right now you've got Koos Ogre Magi, of course not the real Koos, but never forget, and Sand King for Borster. They've got a bunch of stuns that they can stack up. If Sand King's going to be your offlaner, you still need a position 4. Maybe they go with the Slardar, get another stun. Another hero that doesn't rely on the blink, get in there and do what you can, but they're going to go with the Terrorblade. So Terrorblade safe lane, someone who I really enjoy watching with Bloodlust. Terrorblade works very well with it. He's one of those heroes that can fight early. You pop that Metamorphosis in lane, maybe try and get a kill with the combination of a tri-lane of Ogre Magi and Sand King if they go with a different offlaner, or even just maybe an Ogre Magi and a different position for like that Slardar.
Reserve time.
So Terrorblade, Ogre Magi, Sand King up against Lifestealer, Crystal Maiden, and Clockwork. Going into this 4th pick. Could be Slardar coming out. Maybe they just commit to the Clockwork in that off-lane role. Let's see what they want to do and where that puts Sand King, Ogre Magi, Terrorblade, the squad of Borster. Now, you do have the mobility of the Clockwork Hook with the Lifestealer. Maybe you want something more. That's exactly what they could do, but again, Batrider gets picked up. Batrider could play as a 4, Clockwork could play as a 4. Most likely it's going to be Batrider in the offlane. You don't see Batrider 4 as much, so Clockwork 4, Crystal Maiden 5, Batrider in your offlane. And that's, you know, really good for the Lifestealer who wants to get in there. You've got the hero that they lasso up in the grasp of a Lifestealer, and something that they can do very well with the lineup they've got so far, especially with the lasso. Maybe you get a Crystal Maiden ult flying on the side. It's a nice lineup for FNF thus far, and we'll have to see how Borster really look to react with the Terrorblade, Ogre Magi, and Sand King. Got stuns thus far. You've got a little bit of slow from these heroes. If you're looking for a mid and possibly an offlaner again, the question is what you want to go to if that Sand King's not going to be your offlaner. And they're going to go with Shadow Demon. So Sand King will be that offlaner, Shadow Demon, Ogre Magi supporting. It does set up quite a bit. You get that disruption, throw the Burrow Strike out as it comes off, get the Ogre Magi in there, and you can work with something. And you see a lineup like this, sometimes you can see a Sand King go into the safe lane, the tri-lane of Terrorblade, Shadow Demon, and Ogre Magi go to the off lane.
5 seconds remaining.
Which is something that they can do for Borster, and you know, maybe it's better that they do just go up against the Batrider, though. Stay in the safe lane, go up off lane against Batrider. So last ban is going to be the Weaver. Let's see what Borster want to ban out. You take a look, both teams looking for their mid, and they don't want to be up against Tinker. They don't want to be up against that mobility. So again, after this game, Grant will probably take over as it'll get close to 6 o'clock, where my 8 hours will be done. I'll rest for tomorrow. So they do put the puck here with this lineup.
Radiant team pick.
I do kind of like this lineup. More illusions for the Terrorblade. You've got the lockdown of the Dream Coil, the Fire Blast, the Burrow Strike, the Disruption. So much there for Borster to really lock down FNF and work with, even wait out that Rage. Use one or the other, the Burrow Strike, the Fire Blast.
5 seconds remaining.
Does look pretty good for Borster.
Reserve time.
Now, if you're FNF, you're up against this puck. Try and make something work, something that you're not too in danger of getting picked off early. And we saw in that second game of the final for EU, where there was Alina, obviously that's banned, and Alina just went downhill up against Puck. And Puck's one of those heroes who can choose to be aggressive, especially if the rotations come over from both the Shadow Demon and the Ogre Magi, where you can use that Illusory Orb to push forward, and then, you know, get that stun, use the damage, Waning Rift, get yourself a couple of kills. Do pick up the Invoker. So Invoker, Batrider, Lifestealer, Crystal Maiden, Clockwork up against Sand King, Ogre Magi, Terrorblade, Shadow Demon, Puck. Got Ritsu on the Terrorblade, PPD on the Shadow Demon, Boris on the Puck, B on that Ogre Magi, Jubei on the Sand King. Let me take a look at FNF. Versatis on the Clockwork, K-Dot, Crystal Maiden, BSJ, promo code BSJ on the Lifestealer, Batrider, KXZH. If there's a pronunciation, please type that in chat. And then Kenny on the Invoker. Sunstrike thrown out immediately, knowing
Prepare
that
for battle.
the side of Borster has smoked up. You take a look as these lanes are starting to form, both teams smoking up, just trying to get those deep wards in. Ogre Magi's got himself a nice ward. He'll place it on the cliff, get himself that vision. Let's see, does Batrider have a sentry? Doesn't even have a ward to place. Just smoked up, and Clockwork gonna get spotted there. Both of them get pinged out. Let's see if these mids come over to stop this Clockwork from getting anything done. There's the Sunstrike as well as the Burrow Strike coming in from Jubei. They're gonna try and get this Clockwork. The cogs are there, but it just locks him in even longer. And First Blood goes the way of Jubei and Borster.
Strikes the perfect note.
So immediately a lead for Borster up against this BSJ stack. I don't know who B is, so to me, just be Koos vicariously living through this Ogre Magi. So now, PPG and B, they're going to move on over to this Batrider and throw that Ignite on him, just kind of try and harass him out as much as they can. A couple stacks of sticky napalm, Clockwork coming back over, they're trying to slow him up, get those cogs, maybe get a return kill. They're continuing to chase 4 stacks now. And really hitting away at this Shadow Team. It might be in a little bit of trouble as there's 5 stacks on him. Terrorblade is here, and Clockwork might have gone a little bit too far. The Sunstrike brings PPD down very low. One more hit will do it. Clockwork gets the kill, but it's just going to cost him his own life. They might actually get the Ogre Magi. They continue to move in. Another set of cogs locks him up. This is a very strong, stupid Ogre, and it's not enough for him to survive how strong he is, and they do get 2 kills right back before we even start the laning phase. Just see this interesting start. Sub 1 minute. There's already 3 kills on the board. So let's take a look at what these lanes are going to be. You've got the Clockwork, you've got the Batrider, and then sitting over in the jungle right now is going to be the Crystal Maiden up top, Terrorblade, as well as PPD on the Shadow Demon. You take a look over mid. Ogre Magi going to come over with that nice shovel. Ignite this Invoker, try and push him back and open up the lane for Boris on this puck. We take a look at the offlane, Jubei up against BSJ. And Jubei already about halfway to level 2, took the Burrow Strike, not the Caustic Finale, so his farm to start is not going to be as great as maybe it would be with Caustic Finale. Just continuing to harass PPG. It's rough for the Shadow Demon, getting those stacks of sticky napalm on him. He's definitely going to have to be careful. Obviously, he's got the Disruption to stop the Firefly if it does come his direction. Just got to make sure that it's not all for nothing. You do get the Disruption on the Batrider. Take a look over mid, and Clockwork's made his way over. Boris, just about level 3, has that illusory orb. He's going to put it up to level 2 as he has one in the face shift, so should be pretty safe in this lane. Very mobile, as long as he doesn't get caught out with maybe another hero coming over, like the Crystal Maiden, to get that Frostbite. Boris should be okay. Now Metamorphosis is going to be used just to push back this Batrider, get a little bit easier on the farm for him. Ritsu farming away as best he can, 14-2, doing a pretty good job, only behind his own teammate of Boris on the puck over mid. We take a look at Jubei, now level 4 has 2 in Caustic Finale, and BSJ's by himself, so this lane not as easy as maybe he would have thought it would be, especially with the Caustic Finale coming in every now and then. So 2-1, an early advantage for Borster. PD just trying to get the farm he can, and it's trying to be taken here by this Batrider. Just try and sneak it away. Don't let PPD get that farm. And we'll get himself a creep worth 70, so not bad. So let's take a look over top B. be hit by this Sunstrike, might be dead. Burrow Strike stops him. Can B survive? Can the Koos man live? Jubei going to get very low as well. Coming in with the Battery Assault is going to be this Clockwork. Neither of them die, and those are Koos moves. You take a look up top. Disruption's going to come out onto this Batrider. Not going to get the kill just yet. They do turn their attention over. Ritsu burning down quite low. He doesn't have Metamorphosis just yet. And PPD with that one stack of Sticky Napalm hitting, standing in that Firefly. Not in too much danger at all up top.
Denied.
So B goes back to the base, and Jubei, he's going to TP over towards his shrine. Maybe he does make his way over mid and hope to get a kill on Kenny. And Sand King level 4 for now. I think maybe they have a smoke on this Ogre Magi, and they do, and that's what they're going to be looking for to try and get this kill with the Bloodlust coming out on Sand King. So he's back behind his tower pretty deep, so I'm not too sure they can get Kenny. The smoke's going to be broken. There's the Burrow Strike. The Uzi Orb's going to follow it up. They've got the Ignite and the Waning Rift. Boris gets himself an easy kill. Kenny's going to fall, and it's equal at 2. Borster with a quick 1k net worth lead.
Radiant structures are fortified.
You actually take a look. B found himself in the cogs. There's the Sunstrike once again. Still alive for the time being. 100 health. Still getting hit by that Battery Assault. One more shot will do it. And they actually give that kill over towards the Batrider.
Bottom tower is under attack.
So Boris doing a very good job over mid. Meanwhile, we take a look over bottom, where BSJ's farm is pretty nice at this point. I said it wasn't starting out at great, but Sand King did get pushed back all the way to the Ancient, went over mid, gave some space over to this Lifestealer, and he made great use of it, farming very well. Rider just about level 6 now. He grabs it. He has the lasso available. There's the Firefly. Gonna lasso him up, but the Sunstrike in the wrong spot. You turned around. That's too late. But Ritsu, with 3 stacks of Sticky Napalm, should be dead to rights. And this Batrider's gonna get a kill on the Terrorblade. Ritsu just a little bit too far out, and unlucky for him that Batrider gets that 6 as he's charging forward.
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Dream Coil comes out on Kenny. They've got the Ogre here. He's going to use that Ghost Walk, but immediately dusted up the smart play. He's going to break that Dream Coil. Illusory Orb comes forward, but now Crystal Maiden with the Frostbite might have put a Boris in a little bit of trouble as the rotation comes out from BSJ. They've got the Clockwork. Cogs come out onto the Ogre Magi. He's going to be stuck in the Cogs under tower. Kenny just making it out. Throws his Tornado to the side just to deter anybody coming forward, and they're actually going to lose their Clockwork from Jubei. Let's see, BSJ trying to chase down Ogre Magi. Jubei gets a double kill. He takes out the Crystal Maiden. Let's see if Batrider can chase down PPD. He's getting slowed up by the Sticky Napalm. Continuing to just try and run. If the Firefly can just touch him, they'd have an easy chance at killing PPD. And there it is, an easy kill for Batrider. Now they turn their attention towards the Ogre Magi. Coming from behind is going to be BSJ, but I'm not too sure he's going to be there with the open wounds in time to get the kill, and they do have the Shrine active. Jubei's going to try and activate it early, get himself a little bit of health, get the Burrow Strike coming through on this Batrider, charge up the Epicenter. There it is with PPD. They should have the return kill on Batrider, and they do. You get that kill. Meanwhile, over mid, you get the return kill on Boris. It's a 1-for-1, 7-5 in favor of FNF. But Borster has a little bit of a lead. So 7-5. We'll switch it over to the net worth. 8 minutes in here. Take a look. Batrider top of the net worth, followed by Jubei on the Sand King. So offlaner's having a pretty good job, and Jubei 4-0. So getting very close to a quick Blink Dagger, and we'll see how that does affect Borster and their initiation going forward.
This'll come in handy.
So PPD over mid with B and Boris. jungle, you do see Versatis. Placing a sentry, block that camp up. Down bottom, Jubei with the nice Burrow Strike. Gonna come out on BSJ. Open Wounds comes out. Sunstrike to follow it up. That'll bring Jubei very low. He's gonna have to use that Sandstorm to not be killed off by BSJ. And he really doesn't want to be killed off soon, or at least before he gets to this point. He's getting ever so close, sub 11 minutes. It's a quick blink if he gets it then. And that does change the feel of this game if he gets it quick. PPD all by himself under tower. And it looks as though this Bat's just going to try and go for it. But here comes the TPs. The Disruption going to hold him in place for just a little longer. The Waning Rift, the Dream Coil. He's silenced up, trying to run away. Clockwork is trying to make himself some space with those cogs, but not going to be enough. Now they throw those rockets burning down from the Fireflies, both this Ogre Magi as well as the Shadow Demon. But they'll be okay and still be alive. He's going to throw himself the salve, and knowing that he's missed the illusory orb, Boris will just back off.
A prize.
So B backs all the way off. Christo Maiden now with that Tome of Knowledge. We'll see if that's just dropped or is on the courier. So you usually try to get your Clockwork 6 as soon as you can. And I think this Tome of Knowledge is going to be put in the Christo Maiden. Maybe they want 6 there sooner. Look over at Boris. He's level 9, trying to finish off that Veil. He's only 350 gold away, doing very well with that Veil coming in pretty quickly. 1, 2, and 2. Not the best game, but in terms of farm, it's all right.
Stay near.
It's undercutting my own. He's doing very well. And Boris gets kill up top, and I miss it. Boris, look away from Boris for just 1 second. He gets the kill. Meanwhile, at the bottom, they're going to go for BSJ. They've got the Metamorphosis. He's going to be in a little bit of trouble. He's got himself the Infest on the creeps. Getting pulled away is going to be the Shadow Demon. PPD is going to drop very low and hit the deck. There's the Infest. It's going to be popped. BSJ as well as this Clockwork are going to look for more with the Bat Rider. The cogs are not going to lock in this Ogre Magi, but there's 3 heroes surrounding him, and it looks like trouble. Sunstrike off the mark, but with the Battery Assault, they'll get the kill. BSJ gets credit for it, and they do end up turning it around on Borster.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bat Rider playing very well. He's close to his blink. Finally, the Sand King has gotten his, Jubei. And Jubei still yet to die.
Dire's top tower
Having an alright game, sitting close to the top of that net worth. Right now, it's BSJ and the Bat Rider. As well as Terrorblade a little bit in the mix, and he's trying to get himself that Yasha.
Jackpot.
Got the Disruption coming out. Let's see if they can get a kill on this Bat Rider. The Ignite comes up. The slow from PPG. Ritsu going to move in. Can they get the kill? Looks like they should. PPG gets credit for it. And there is the kill going the way of Borster. Been a back and forth game. Sunstrike not going to hit on Ritsu.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
So Boris with that Veil going for the Blink next. We take a look up top at BSJ. Has the Armlet looking for the Desolator next. Jubei waiting in the wing, looking for that Epicenter Burrow Strike. Has Blink Dagger ready, so BSJ's got to be careful. If the rotations come out in time, BSJ might find himself some trouble. And there's the Burrow Strike with the Caustic Finale. Will cut out these creeps, and that'll push BSJ back. Jubei still just looking up top.
Radiant's middle tower
Sitting near this tower, gonna blink further away, TP out, go to Shrine, meet up with his team as he sees that Up top, they've got a couple of heroes here for F&F.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Metamorphosis is available. They've lost their tier 1 up top. They've taken the tier 1 mid. They do end up trading towers, and they're going to look for a tier 2 bottom. Clockwork just going to show himself. Maybe not the right plan. Take a look from behind. Jubei's over there. There's the Blink Burrow Strike. Dreamcoil is going to be out on the Clockwork. The Veil, and destroyed by Boris and the squad of Borster.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack. Radiant structures are fortified.
Now we're going to go for this tier 2 bottom. Let's see if the counter comes in from F&F. Moving forward with that smoke, going to be broken. They've got the Infest on the Bat Rider. They're going to get the Burrow Strike to stop the Bat Rider in place. They've got the Sunstrike coming out on Ritsu. He's going to be destroyed immediately. So now the rest of FNF are going to move on forward. Jubei's going to have his first death of the game, and now they're going to continue for PPD. PPD, he'll be killed. Flame Break pushes him back. Not going to stop that TP, though. He'll die anyway. Fortunately, Flame Break no longer does that. They got the kill. Pushed them back into their team, and they get themselves 3. We take a look at the fight recap, and a nice 1,700 net worth gain for the BSJ stack.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Look over mid. Ritsu's here, but Clockwork gonna skip him for now. Is Invis maybe looking for the right hook, and that could be PPD. Could just get Cogs and Battery Assault and kill him off. There's the hook shot. There's the Cogs. Sunstrike from the Invoker. PPD just about dead. The disruption will extend the inevitable, and he will end up falling.
Guess you didn't know a little game of freeze tag could turn lethal.
So Ritsu looking for that Dragon Lance. Has his Yashas. Probably turn that into a man style after he picks up that Dragon Lance. Take a look. He's got a stack ready to go. Over at Jubei, Blink Dagger still looking for that Force Staff. And they actually get the scan out on both Ritsu and B. So there's the Waning Rift. Illusory Orb just getting into the face of BSJ. Gonna use that Illusory Orb to back up. No harm done. Just a little bit of damage taken to BSJ. Metamorphosis is gonna be used. They'll push this tier 1. They are pinging it out quite a bit. We'll end up getting that tower as Ritsu does back off. They go in deep. They might be looking for something with the Infest on this Bat Rider. I'm not too sure he's going to catch up to him, especially with the Bloodlust pushing him back. No hook shot coming in, and Ogre Magi, as well as his Terrorblade, will be able to retreat. Take a look over bottom. Now they're going to go for a tier 2. And it's a small lead for BSJ and his squad. But here comes the Blink with the lasso. They've got the Sunstrike, but it's going to be avoided by the disruption coming out from PPD. He's going to save the life of his puck. And now let's see if he can get away. Only going to use that Illusory Orb to go a bit further. The Waning Rift will silence, but not do enough. Here comes the Clockwork with the hook on PPD. Let's see what they can do with this one. It should be a death for PPD once again. And another kill going the way of the Clockwork.
This'll come in handy.
So Ritsu almost taken out by that Sunstrike, and they don't end up losing that tier 2 bottom. And they end up losing a couple of heroes, especially Boris, who's 3-3-2. Look at this Invoker, 400 gold away from getting that Ag, looking very good, as well as BSJ with that Desolator. It is Terrorblade who leads the charge in net worth, but the next three very close and all on the Radiant side. So let's see if this Gwent squad can really come back here from this 2k deficit. Nothing too terrible to really overcome, but BSJ, him and his team, they're looking for more. They're looking to keep the aggression up. They've got the Bat Rider. He's smoked up. Double damage on him, as well as being infested. If he just finds one, they should have themselves the easy kill. See if they could catch out any of these heroes. There's the Blink with the Burrow Strike. Hookshot comes out on PPD. There's the Sunstrike. They're going to end up losing that Crystal Maiden. Now we take a look at PPD. The Battery Assault's coming on through from Versatis again, but it's not going to be enough to take out PPD just yet. We take a look at the rest of this fight. BSJ, Bat Rider, and Kenny are all going to back off. They've lost 2 already. They don't want to lose more and don't want to risk going in under this Tier 1.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
So take a look at that fight recap. A bit of a win here for Borster. Back and forth still, as the net worth lead has not really expanded much more than 2,000.
Radiant's bottom tower has fallen.
So Puck might be in a little bit of trouble. Hit by that Sunstrike. Here comes the Firefly. Boris, he's going to have to use that Illusory Orb. Can this Bat Rider continue to go on forward? He uses the Flame Break to push him back into that Firefly. Still in trouble. There's the Phase Shift to save his life for just a little bit longer. But here comes the Clockwork. Here comes the Crystal Maiden. And dead you are, Boris. Another kill for the Crystal Maiden going in on this entire team. Oh boy, Jubei missing that Burrow Strike. He's now going to be hit by the hook shot of Versatis. They continue to go in. They've got the Battery Assault as well as the Cogs locking him up for the Chaos Meteor to roll all over him. And Kenny will get another kill. We take a look at the Sunstrike just off the mark on PPD. But now they've got the lasso. They've killed off, meanwhile, Ritsu with BSJ up top. And they're going to get themselves another one. PPD getting very low, doing what he can, but it's not going to be enough to stay alive. 4 dead on the side of Borster. So 4 kills, they expand that net worth lead, and it's looking very good for BSJ's stack.
Dire's structures are fortified. Dire's bottom tower has fallen.
Themselves a tier 1 over bottom. Blink Dagger picked up for this Invoker. Take a look at BSJ, who's got that Desolator and Armor, looking for the Maelstrom next.
Are fortified. Dire's middle tower is under attack. Dire's middle tower has fallen.
Smoke up here from Borster. 4 smoked up. Take a look over. There's the disruption. Not timed well. And the hookshot comes in on Ritsu. They get the infest. I'm not too sure they want to take this fight. The Metamorphosis is there. Boris coming in with a nice Dream Coil as well as the Waning Rift. They've got a couple of these heroes silenced. They're going to try and kill themselves off. Kenny's going to try and get himself out with the Ghost Walk. The Epicenter seems to be off the mark. They finally get themselves a kill on the Crystal Maiden. And now, let's see if they're going to chase it all for Borster. They actually just back off. And despite the botched initiation, they get lucky that Borster comes in. Or Boris comes in, excuse me, and gets a nice Dream Coil.
Jackpot. Greetings.
Go for my master.
So now a 5k net worth lead for
Selfish.
ESJ, the rest of his team. Take a look. Top of the net worth is the Lifestealer as well as the Invoker. They take a look over. They might be able to find out Ritsu, but first they find the Ogre Magi. They're going to lasso up Ogre Magi. B's going to be in a little bit of trouble. BSJ just sits away with that Desolator and the rest of what he's got with that Armlet. The Maelstrom, now he hits that much faster, and they do get the kill on the Ogre Magi. So 21-12, BSJ and Co. doing work against Borster. Work over mid, BSJ and Fest get the health back up. Well, still staying close by. They really want to keep the pressure on. So B's got to smoke if they want to make a play. You got to know they're in their jungle nearby. As this game gets a little bit more stagnant, you take a look at what these items, these heroes have, and by stagnant I mean 3-man smoke, of course. So they're going to go meet up with Ritsu, probably move forward in this lane, hope to get someone caught out. They actually show Boris. He's got himself those boots of travel, so Ritsu and Boris, they're going to force, or at least try to force the rotation as they push towards this tier 3. Look over at Clockwork, has that Force Staff, hook shot ready to go, might spot them. Just coming across towards this Roche Pit. Bay moves forward, he's going to blink towards the Roche Pit.
Boom, there he
Smoke
goes.
doesn't really turn into anything. See what they can do as they continue to back up and farm Terrorblade. He's got that Hurricane Pike up with the Yasha,
This'll come in handy.
and looking to finish off that match style. He picks up that ulti before the puck. Boots of travel, going for the Ags next. You want to be able to keep these guys contained despite getting BKB. And look over at BSJ, still Armlet, Maelstrom, and that Desolator looking for that Basher next.
Invisibility.
So now infested up is this Bat Rider. Let's see if they can get a kill. They do not have the vision on Ogre, but they might know he's close. And actually up top, Jubei is there. He'll spot BSJ. Nobody with him. So he's just going to have to about face and run away. That Basher out for a Lifestealer, and really hoping to make something happen with the Bat Rider, but you can't stay infested too long. Missing out on possible farm that you could be getting, moving yourself forward. Top of the net worth could extend that lead, and up top, Jubei gets a kill on BSJ. Well, I'm thinking nothing's going on. Camera work is getting a little crap. Been a long day of 8 hours. A little bit tired. But no excuses. I should be on all these.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
They do end up getting that kill on BSJ, and just behind the Invoker in terms of net worth, behind them is going to be the Terrorblade. He's now got that match style as well as the Hurricane Pike. Both teams very content with farming, especially with the lead that FNF have. And Borster, they're looking to get their next couple of items. Want to finish off this Ags on Puck. You've got the Blink Dagger ready on the Sand King, and then Ogre Magi is trying to get himself a Glimmer Cave and maybe help him get out of dodge or maybe get his positioning a little bit better. So there it is again. The Infest comes out on the Bat Rider. Let's see if this time they find anybody to go in on. There's the Firefly over the top into the jungle, not finding anything. And I think he might be spotted out by the ward. He does get pinged out. And now PPD is this bait. They're going to blink forward PPD. He's immediately going to die in. And maybe not bait. Maybe just more of dead. Caught out. They did ping him out. They knew they were nearby, and they don't do anything about it. So, with that, PPD will be dead. They'll head towards Roche, pick up this Aegis for this Lifestealer. Or maybe even the Invoker, but they expect it to be on the Lifestealer. Are they going to try and make something happen? Here's the Illusory Sunstrike to get Roche very low. Not going to pop to it. Now they might actually be in a little bit of trouble. The lasso comes on through onto Ritsu. He's pulled all the way to the low ground and still continuing to get those stuns on the Clockwork. Ritsu's going to get very low. He's going to end up falling. The Dream Coil comes out on 3, but it's a little bit too late. The Epicenter flies through, not doing too much damage. Everybody's still alive for FNF. And it might be that they finally pick off this Sand King. He's getting very low. The Tornado hits again. He's up, he's down, he's up, he's down, he's dead. And now they look towards PPD and the rest of this team. They're going to pop that Infest, go for B, 3 dead. They've only lost the Clockwork thus far, and now the chase is on for Boris. The Sunstrike is going to hit, and now he's going to have to Illusory Orb away, try and make as much distance as he can, and he should be far enough away, but now the Bat Rider blinks forward, gets the Flame Break, pushes him down to the low ground, gets the Firefly, and continues on his chase. Boris trying to get away, trying to get out with this Illusory Orb, the Phase Shift, the Blink forward, but the Force Staff from Bat Rider and the Blink, he doesn't want to let him go.
Dire's middle tower has fallen.
So finally, Boris gets out of dodge and retreats all the way back to base, but you've got the Invoker pushing this mid-tier 3 as well as BSJ. And use that Rage, continue to hit down on this tower, but it's going to be glyphed up. Here's the EMP, slow down any aggression that'll come out from Borster. We've got the Lifestealer who has that Aegis ready to go. They're trying to converge in on this Bat Rider, but not too sure Boris notices it. So now a 9,000 net worth lead for FNF. Trying to do all he can, but he was lassoed up and put into a bunch of trouble, pulled down to the low ground of this Roche Pit area last time they fought, and it was just an easy kill for the rest of the team once that Bat Rider got that lasso. You know, Bat Rider may not be top of the net worth, but 7-3-14, participating in 21 of the 25 kills. He's doing everything he can to make sure his team wins this game. So ready to push again, ready and willing with this Aegis. They'll go for the tier 3, possibly just open up shrines and back off. But they're going to force that down B. He might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to be forced that back around. And now they try to come in. They've got the Dream Coil as well as Ritsu locked up with the hook shot coming in from the Clockwork. Everybody's a little bit low. The disruption is going to save the life of this Terrorblade. And now let's see if they can get anything more. They're going to back off Jubei as well as Ritsu. He's going to Manta off that open wounds and continue to just hit away. Here comes the Epicenter on 3. Everybody getting low with the Waning Rift coming out. 3 are dead. They're looking for more. BSJ at least gets 1 on boards. Now they turn it around for 4, looking for another. And BSJ, he continues to knock out some of these heroes. Kills off B. Can they bring him down once again? They've got no Ogre Magi. They've got no Puck. Oh man, and he whiffs the Burrow Strike. Ritsu in a whole bunch of trouble. BSJ going to use that Rage. He's got the open wounds out on Ritsu, who Hurricane Pike himself to the high ground and just survives. So now they lock up BSJ for just a moment longer. They get the disruption. He finally times it right with the Metamorphosis. It should be enough to get the kill. BSJ falls. It's an entire team wipe. They're all dead on FNF.
is under attack.
So a very nice team fight there for Borster. Well-placed ults with the Dream Coil as well as the Epicenter, and the lead now cut down to about 6,000.
Horn of the realm.
Still sitting at the top of the net worth is this Lifestealer looking for the AC, but Terriblade Ritsu catching up. His life getting saved by the Hurricane Pike to the high ground of his own. And now he's looking for that Scotty, which he does have enough money for, or enough gold for. He chooses to buy out. And he will. Moving forward as 4, we'll see if they can push and maybe get a tier 3 of their own. Their shrines are open. And if the shrine up top gets taken out, Roche should be easier for FNF.
Invisibility!
So they are nearby. Here comes the TP over with the Bat Rider and the lasso available, but he's going to be stunned up. They might not be in the best spot. The BKB is going to be Pop Ritsu. Oh boy, he is in a rough spot as he's going to be surrounded by the entire side of FNF. They get the kill on both PPD as well as Ritsu. They look for more in B. There's the cogs to lock him up. 3 are almost going to go down. B still alive. One more shot will do it. 3 die. The buyback is there from PPD. And the lead extends for FNF.
Patience from Zoe.
Now they move forward, looking for their first set of racks. Ritsu dead for 32 seconds, and they see him not buying back. There's the Sunstrike. PPD in a bit of trouble. The Flame Break's going to be a little bit too far. PPD, they're still trying to chase in on him, but here comes Boris. Waning Rift, not going to get that Dream Coil off just yet. And they'll back off, knowing that they've taken a mid set of racks.
Dire structures are fortified.
They head towards top. BSJ harassing these buildings. Gets another one to tier 3 down. Boris with the nice Dream Coil, but no real follow-up. So now without the Dream Coil, the hookshot comes in on Boris. Not going to really make much of a difference. Here comes the Epicenter on a couple. And they get themselves the kill. They're going to force step out. BSJ, he's going to infest into this Bat Rider. BKB, Ritsu going to hit away at the Bat Rider. Can he bring him down? It's going to be a double kill. There's 3 dead. They're looking for more in the clockwork. They're going to have them surrounded on Lifestealer. And another team wipe for Borster. So Borster, they'll get all 5 heroes on the side of FNF. They may not have helped as well as they'd like, but a full team wipe is something to grow off of. So they move forward, seeing if they could push anything down. 3 heroes dead for FNF that have buyback. You take a look up top. Ritsu, he's going to try and push top, get that tower over at top tier 2. Just trying to take care of these towers, get themselves a bit of a jump in gold, maybe force out buybacks going for tier 3s.
Patience from Zoe.
Боже, ты посмотри!
Let's take a look around the horn. Ritsu going for that BKB. Scotty Manta Hurricane Pike for now. PPD very poor at 3,100 net worth. Arcane Boots just for himself for the time being. We've got the Yules, the Lotus Orb, the Blink Force Staff, all for Sand King. Trying to get Boots of Travel, and then Ogre Magi, Glimmer Cape, Gem, Force Staff, Arcane Boots very ready. Boris, he's got that Ags Veil, Boots of Travel, and the Blink. Looking for Lincoln's of his own next. And then for the other side, BSJ trying to finish off that AC. You've got Clockwork looking for the Ags, Bat Rider looking for Ags, Invoker, he's already got Ags. He's got himself Midas, Blink, BKB, and Boots of Travel. Didn't help him to survive there. And Crystal Maiden with the Glimmer and Force Staff. So we're just about ready to go. Net worth 7,000 lead for FNF. Let's see if Borster can get any towers out of this. So looks like we're ready to go. G's are up, and the pushes continue from Borster up top with Ritsu on the Terrorblade over mid. Boris and B got that Bloodlust to help push these towers, but no creeps right now. Boris probably just going to cut this creep wave to get as much damage on the tier 2 as they can as they move Ritsu over. Look for a tier 2. They might just force it all down the throats of mid.
Radiant's middle tower has fallen.
So you take a look. There's the Metamorphosis. They've got the Glyph. Let's see if FNF can hold this tower. Disruption's going to come out. They're going to continue to hit away. All these Terrorblade Illusions just doing work. They take out the tier 3 and continue to work on these racks. They're down a set of racks and a half, so they need to make something work, and they're going to continue to move forward on these racks. How many times can I say the word racks? They get the Tornado out on B as well as the EMP. I think the Tornado hit a couple of these heroes on the back end, and it will. The Clockwork is going to get the hookshot coming out forward, and now the BKB is going to be popped by this Bat Riders. They're going to look for a hook, for a lasso to drag them back in. They've already got the kill on B, and now the Dream Coil comes out on 4. Looks as though the Clockwork might be in a little bit of trouble. They've taken out this Shadow Demon, and 2 are dead, but they get a set of racks, and they get their cores out of the way.
Here I am.
Invisibility.
Jubei. He does. He'll stop it. He might be giving up his life for it. There's the Force Staff. There's the Sandstorm. In a little bit of trouble as he's going to be Yuled up and blink away. So he gets himself out with that nice Yule. Stops the TP of the Invoker. And now they've headed over towards Roche. It's almost as though any counter's going to come in, and the Aegis again. Let's see. Going to be picked up for the lifesteal. Now with this Aegis, they see the damage that can come out from the Terrorblade of Ritsu, and they don't want to let it go again. They've taken out a racks and a half, or a set of racks and a half. Want to make sure that they finish this game now before anything happens. Let's see, are they smoking up to wrap around? No. Just looking to hold. go for this shrine. They take it out. Both shrines dead. They've got the Aegis. Now is the time to push. Try and finish this game out.
Well-gotten gains. Regeneration.
So there's bottom lane. Ritsu actually going to try and man-fight BSJ. There is the Glimmer Cape as well as the Lotus Orb to keep him healthy. Still moving forward is this Lifesteal. He knows he has the Aegis. There's the Ignite to push him back just a moment. But here he comes. Force Staff in the blink. They might have gotten themselves a Bat Rider. There's the Metamorphosis going to be Pop. BSJ might be in a little bit of trouble as they no longer have that lasso. Hurricane tucking forward is going to be Ritsu. This nice hook shot, or actually a terrible hook shot, comes out. The Cogs are just going to force them away. They've got the Dream Coil as well as Jubei coming in with the Burrow Strike, but now they just try to TP out. They finally get the Fire Blast coming in from B. They take out 3, and they lose none. They might be looking to get something else as this Lifestealer is trying to run away. Jubei still alive. He's got that Blink Dagger Burrow Strike up, and they will finally get this Lifestealer and surround him as the Aegis popped, and a lot of trouble. Here comes the Epicenter right onto this Lifestealer. Dead you are. 4 are dead on the side of FNF. Borster have pulled themselves out of an 8K hole. And here we go, as they look to push bottom. So Metamorphosis, luckily for the side of FNF, on cooldown for 80 more seconds. But 4 are dead, and Lifestealer dead for just about a minute. We'll see if they can maybe get a tier 3 with the Bloodlust on Ritsu. Or not. That's the answer to that one. Meanwhile, mid, Boris is going to push out this creep wave, so they're forcing some pressure bottom and mid. They'll take a couple of shrines of their own.
Invisibility.
Look over Ritsu backing off, looking for that butterfly next. Maybe he could spot that double damage. Maybe Jubei spots it and tells Ritsu to come pick it up. Oh, take it himself. So let's see what this team can do. They finally get a lead again after about 20 minutes of being behind. It's just very tough for them to pull themselves back in that early deficit, but now they've got their items, their Terrorblade, top of the net worth, and Boris doing a great job with these nice Dream Coils. It's been at least more than 2 heroes just about every single time, and when you're locking up heroes like that, they had the stun immediately on the Bat Rider. Not too sure who got credit for that. It could have been Jubei, but you don't get lassoed up. You're not held in place. Sunstrike doesn't come. BSJ can't hit away at you as easily, and that's the kind of team fight that Borster are taking, and it's what's been winning them these fights, and ultimately have now gotten them the lead. So now they look to push bottom. They're all smoked up, grouped up mid, and looking to smoke. Nope, just all together. So the push is coming. The Lincolns is on Ritsu. They'll push with these illusions. Got the Bloodlust to hit even harder, and the Solar Crest to make them take hits even better. We'll throw the illusions forward. 4 heroes are over bottom. Tornado comes through, hits on PPD. Can't get out of that one. There are Gwent cards that stop tornadoes, but I don't know the name. So looking for the opening is this Bat Rider. Hopefully he can get in cleanly this time. what's stopping him was really the stun that came out. Meanwhile, up top, Clockwork's going to try and take a tier 3 or push back these creeps on his own, and here comes the Tornado, all on Illusions. The Infest is going to be popped, as well as the Deafening Blast thrown forward at the Illusions, but not really stopping the damage from being dealt on this tier 3. They do end up backing off, as Clockwork has pushed up top, and he's going to use that hookshot to go on Boris. Might end up using the Dream Coil. They will. There's the Burrow Strike coming in from Jubei, Sandstorm, as well as PPD getting in for a little bit of fun, and they'll take out this Clockwork, so he does draw them all back. They don't lose their tier 3 bottom, but it is at the cost of his life. Now they look to push over mid. Have Metamorphosis ready to go. We'll try to clear this up with Ritsu in the caustic finale of this Sand King. Let's see, are they going to wrap around? They're going to be spotted. Crystal Maiden comes through, maybe showing herself, and this ult's really not going to do too much. The phase shift is there. Boris might be in a little bit of trouble. The Lincoln's going to be popped, as well as the Lotus Orb. And now this Batrider, who's got himself infested with the Lifestealer, is going to be killed off. So now the EMP is going to be split between Boris and MP. The hookshot comes in on Ritsu. Ritsu might be in a little bit of trouble. He does have his Sunder still available, as well as still being in Metamorphosis form. And we'll take the free gold. There's a nice disruption. Sunstrike will kill off B. They'll go for the tier 3, no Batrider, no real harm for this lasso. He's going to use that Sunder. He's got the Lotus of the Dream Coil. Comes down on 3 once again. They're going to pop this BKB. They're going to continue to go in. Kenny's going to do what he can. Try and make something happen. The buyback is going to be there, as well as the Epicenter coming in from the Burrow Strike. Oh, this tanking. 4 dead. None of them have buyback except for the Invoker, who's bumped back into the game immediately. Jubei is going to continue to go in on this Crystal Maiden. Looking to get that kill, but still alive with just a tick of health. They've only lost B. And the Ogre Magi, not a big deal to lose. Ritsu, unfortunately, doesn't have Aegis, so being that low, they may not be able to push any further, but taking a huge fight, and now up 12,000 net worth of their own. So now the Sunder on Ritsu, PPD giving up his life for the greater good, and now they'll look and turn their attention again towards this bottom set of racks. Spike comes out here onto Ritsu. You take a look again, as it's just Crystal Maiden and Invoker trying to save this Rex. The EMP comes out. There's the disruption. They're going to force that forward with the Hurricane Pike. He's not going to be drained of that much mana. He's got the Lotus Orb on him, and now they go towards this second half of the racks. Melee racks looking to fall, but the Glyph is there to hold him up just a little bit longer. And they've got the Clockwork. They set it up, trying to set it up at least with the Tornado. Hookshot comes in. The ulti flies from Crystal Maiden, but Jubei there with the Burrow Strike. The disruption from PPD will extend the life of Ritsu, and now it's not really doing too much in terms of keeping him alive. Crystal Maiden will drop. They're going to get sundered up by this terribly. The hookshot comes in once again. They know that this Invoker is nearby. Clockwork can only do so much. Boris might have found himself a little bit too much than he can chew. And they're still going after this melee Rax. Boris again in trouble. Sunstrike going to be off the mark. They have the Lotus Orb. Still going to try and get out with that Illusory Orb, as well as the phase shift. He's going to get all the way up to the high ground, but again, it's going to be hit with that hook shot. Going in very deep, looking to make something happen. Here comes the Batrider with the Infest of BSJ. They've only lost Boris, and he's down for 90 seconds. Terrorblade's back up top, as they've lost this set of racks a lot earlier. And the creeps are pushing in because of such. So 34 to 35, 15,000 net worth lead for Borster. Slows down for just a moment. I can regain my breath. Double damage for this Lifestealer, and they're going to immediately turn their attention towards this Roche. Get the Aegis this time on the Invoker. She's picked up by the Batrider, and we need that supporting cast for this Lifestealer to be able to do anything. Without the Batrider, it seems like their plan of attack sort of gets neutered in a way. You don't have that lasso, you don't have that lockdown, and from there, now down 15,000 net worth, that would ultimately mean you lose the team fight. So with these illusions, we'll push out mid. Trying to set up their plan of attack is going to be FNF. Still looking for that Ags' Bat Rider. Clockwork just hook-shotting to the creep wave. Has that Ags. Can do it every 12 seconds.
This'll come in handy.
Meanwhile, Jubei will be pushing top.
Do it with flair.
So bottom being pushed in by the Lifestealer. Top was pushed in for a moment by Jubei. They've got to play it right. FNF, they're in a lot of trouble if they lose this next team fight. They do have buyback available on BSJ. Let's take a look at the buyback status. It's 3-4 for Borster and only 2 for FNF. This sword is used. Frostbite comes out. They're going to have to force back this Crystal Maiden now. Ritsu getting far forward. The Rage is going to be used down. The Frostbite's going to come in on Ritsu. Ritsu might be in a little bit of trouble. He's going to use that Hurricane Pike to get back. They've got the Dream Coil coming in on BSJ, but he's going to be making his retreat. They've got the lasso coming through on the Bat Rider. Meanwhile, BSJ getting very low. He doesn't have that Aegis. That's on Kenny. He's going to end up dropping. He's dead for 90 seconds. They lose the Crystal Maiden as well. This Aegis may not save the life of this Invoker. They're going to continue to go. He's got himself the Ghost Walk, but he's not going to stay alive. They look towards this Clockwork. He's going to be dead as well. 2 dead for at least 70 seconds. They've got the Aegis coming back on Kenny. They'll take out Kenny with the Epicenter and the rest of the team hitting away at him. And now it's Bat Rider. He's the last one alive. They want him dead. They want to kill off this entire team. Bat Rider getting very low. And Puck is just going to TP over towards the creeps mid. He TPs in with Ritsu. They're going to get the hook shot over. Now Versad is just trying to slow down Boris as well as Ritsu on this terribly. He's going to get hit away by the metamorphosis of Ritsu. He may not even make it back to base. The soul for the Scotty is going to be enough. They're going to get the kill. BSJ, he's got to run back to base, but Scotty slowing him down once again. He doesn't have rage. He's trying to make it back to the base. Can he? He just survives. He's in the well, trying to heal up as much as he can. The rest of the team from Borster are here in the base. They're going to take down these tier 4s, and GG is called. FNF are eliminated, and Borster move on to the quarterfinals. So such a close game, very back and forth. And BSJ, just like myself, we have no idea what happened there, and Borster will continue forward to the next round. Whew. Let's take a look at these stats before I'm done for the day. Take a look, 41-34. Borster do end up winning. Take a look, 17-5 from Ritsu, 10-4 for Jubei, 10-4-20, involved in 30 of the 41 kills. PPD, despite having a low net worth, 4-10-27, involved in quite a bit. And 2-9-22, just typical Ogre Magi stuff. And everybody seeming to be involved in at least 80% of these kills. So it just kind of gets thrown away once, Terrorblade had his items and was able to hit away at these heroes. They were able to stun up the Bat Rider. The initiations were getting botched, and Borster move on to the next round, which will be casted by Grant. So he'll be up next. That's it for me. I'm your caster, BCop, at BCop92 on Twitter. Tell me what you think. Tell me what I can fix. Thank you guys for watching. It's been a amazing almost 9 hours, and I'll be back tomorrow with more EU qualifiers, and that is day 1 of the EU qualifier number 2. So thank you guys for watching, and it will be Grant next up.